Well, we've managed to drag Mats Wilander away from the studio and onto his former hunting ground. He looks so at ease here on the practice courts at Orangi. Mats, let's talk about the incredible game and the incredible work ethic of Novak Djokovic. I mean, he is just the most complete athlete, isn't he?
He really is, and he's also shown over the last few years that he's willing to improve certain things, and that's even after having been #1 in the world. He's improved his serve tremendously, he's improved his forehand tremendously, and his mental approach to the game and being serious, I think, has improved as well.
How much does his return impress you? Because people are saying that that's also taken a step up in recent years.
It has. I think mostly the backhand return. Somehow the backhand return is, I think, the best return ever. Jimmy Connors, from my era, of course, had a great return. Andre Agassi had a great return. But Novak Djokovic seems to be able to read the serve and also take it early, both the first serve and the second serve. His forehand return is not quite as lethal as his backhand because he has a longer swing. He likes to put a bit of topspin on the forehand, but once the point is in play, his forehand is as lethal as his backhand.
Do you see any mental weakness whatsoever, which sounds a bizarre thing to start a question with when we're talking about someone who's won 6 Grand Slams, but he's lost quite a few big finals recently, can't quite get past Rafa for the French. Is there anything to read into that, or was he just unlucky in those matches?
No, I think you have to read into that because the finals he played against Andy Murray here last year was not a great final. Andy Murray, of course, played great. The finals he lost to Rafa Nadal, the US Open, was not a great final. At the French this year, of course, he's up against the greatest clay court player of all time. But still, there were some dips in there emotionally and maybe even tactically. Physically, he looked exhausted in the semifinals. So I'm not sure that once he gets to a final against a big player, I don't know what his confidence is like.
How impressed are you, though, at the way he went about elevating his game to the level required to take on Nadal and Federer at their best? Because, you know, he won a slam, but the questions were continuing to be asked by Federer and Nadal at their peak. He went away, he's on the gluten-free diet. He is just the most complete professional, isn't he? He's left no stone unturned in his quest to become the best.
No, and I think the big difference between him and Nadal and Federer at the moment is actually mentally. He was really strong there for a couple of years when he had that brilliant 2011. But then he in the last couple of years, he just hasn't been there every point, every match throughout the whole year. And I think that's where somebody like Boris Becker can really help him because the toughness mentally from Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer is incredible. They show up for every match, they play every point, and year in and year out. And Novak Djokovic, if there is one area that he can improve, it's still his body language that can be a little bit more positive.
Well, you've touched on Boris Becker there. It's a fascinating embryonic relationship between the two of them. They've only really started working together at the beginning of this calendar year. How much of a difference do you really think he can make?
I think he can make a huge difference in the big tournaments. I mean, so far, I'm not sure how much it has helped. He hasn't won a Grand Slam since he started working with Boris, but I think especially here at Wimbledon, because here at Wimbledon on the grass, there are some inconsistent bounces. Your footing is not great. You're going to be slipping and sliding a little bit, especially when you push off. Djokovic relies on good footwork, so he's going to still be the best mover on grass, but in relative terms to hard courts and clay, he most probably doesn't move as well. So your mental attitude has to be very consistent the whole way through. Boris Becker was great at playing big matches. It didn't always play well, but you wouldn't know it if you faced him because you thought he was on top of the world. He tried to prove that to you. And Djokovic, that's where Boris Becker can really go in and help Novak, that whatever happens, however many times you slip, however many bad bounces there is, we will not show that we are upset or disappointed.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how he goes and see how that relationship develops. Novak Djokovic and Boris Becker, could it be a winning partnership here at Wimbledon?